Good morning. Good morning. What's going on today, friends? Today is another beautiful day in the neighborhood, in Das neighborhood, and I know it's been a busy time of year, and I hope you all aren't. I hope you all are doing well. So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment here, just to take a moment and say good morning. Hope you're all doing. Hey, Lex is on board. First person to the shop here this morning. Good morning, Kevin. Yeah, just tuning up and thinking about the good life, you know. Wanted to do a sort of a little experiment, see if this was going to make a difference or not. I don't think I'll be able to do it today. I think I'll be able to do it tomorrow. But anyway. So the Oh Holy Night is live on Apple Music now. So we've gone from arranging a song, right, to working on a song together, and really, tightening it up and learning the arrangement and sharing the arrangement. And we've gone so far as to be featured on Kurt Mangan's website and his social media stuff. So that's kind of a neat little highlight for us all to be part of, I think. And then to have the song be so the piece of music, the arrangement, be made available on for streaming. That's sort of a cool thing too, and I think that's just the beginning of what happens with a piece of music. So typically there would be an entire program, an entire team dedicated to advertising and marketing the piece of music or the arrangement once it's been made available publicly. And there's a little bit of a pig scramble leading up to the release even. So you get to see like a little bit of the rigmarole involved with that process anyway. And I'm going to live stream later today the writing out, the drafting, the entire transcription of our arrangement together. So the arrangement that we worked on for Oh Holy Night a couple weeks ago. So we're going to do that today. And if you're a channel member, you can, I really don't want to do the live stream and have it be a huge public thing. I don't think it would be necessarily a huge public thing, but I'm not sure if I want to, I don't know if everyone, I don't know how many people might actually be interested in watching a transcription happen in real time. I suppose I barely want to watch it, so I'm assuming that not many want to watch it. But what I'll do is I'll stream it anyway, because I'll be doing it. And I thought maybe that would be a cool thing to, if you wanted to pull in and watch and interact, that would be cool too. So I'm thinking I'll do that probably somewhere between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Eastern time today. So if you're interested, just you now know what's going on and what's going to be happening, and we'll look forward to maybe seeing you there too, okay? So I'll mention it again later on, but let's go ahead and get started, if you all don't mind. guitar's not really in tune yet, so I'm not really, there we go, the D string's a little out. Put a little graphite on the nut there. All right, good morning, Jill. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Lex. Oh yeah, hey Kevin, thank you for texting me. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate having guitar friends. I really do. There aren't enough of us in the world. You know what I mean? There are a lot of us, but there aren't enough. If you know what I mean. So if you, I don't know if you've tried. I thought about bringing a bowl of warm water down here this morning, and for the first 10 minutes doing this quick soak. I thought about doing an episode from the hot tub, just, but I don't think I wouldn't get the same, it wouldn't be the same effect as some other channels doing an episode from the hot tub. So I think I'll sort of stay away from that problem. But it is, I did think about bringing, some Epsom salt, or just sort of like a warm water bath, a bowl to just kind of soak for about 10 minutes before I practice to see if I can remember what exactly that did for my hands and why all I did that all of those years ago before performances. And I'm not sure I would have made it all the way down here with the warm bath water without slipping on the ice and wearing it. But I was wondering if you had taken a water bath for your hands this morning, or yeah, if you have a stainless steel basin, you can fit a few gallons of water in. You can really get what you want to do, I think, is get your forearms up to midway, where you can just, maybe an old dish, like one of those plastic sort of like wash basins, your dishwater, dish. I don't know, you know what I mean, like the plastic dish basins, that are removable. You got it in and out of the sink, and then fill it up with, get one, or a medical grade sort of sterile, sort of like a stainless steel one. But any old basin will do. You don't have to spend a lot to get a lot. You know what I mean? And let me know if that's something you do. I think I'm going to try to remember to get it down here for tomorrow, so we can start really just check out the benefit of the warm water bath previous to the warm-up. So good morning, Mr. G. Yeah, I worked on B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone. We've been producing a video, we're cutting another video for The Thrill Is Gone, and this one's going to be a little more substantial, but a little more direct and to the point, focusing on a very specific part of the song that either makes or breaks. It identifies the beginner into sort of a pro-sounding, guitar player. So good morning, Lex. Good morning, Kevin, and I appreciate the text last night. And then, you can text me anytime. What I do is I learned this from politics, is like, I have to be out of pocket sometimes. And sometimes I might not respond because my phone, number one, is not with me. My phone is in privacy mode, and my phone is just not on. So you can text me anytime you'd like. Certain people can text me anytime they like. And then you're one of those people. So I don't know if these are more of a gimmick than they are. I see these things and I'm like, I don't really want to put this out there because it's really a warm-up. Has nothing to do with anything other than a warm-up. But sometimes, like, the lyric that really resonates with me, like, I remember the Bryan Adams not Ryan Adams, but Brian Adams, the look into my eyes. Da 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 da. Ba, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Da da da. What is that? Da, 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 da. All right, oh, B minor. Da, 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 da. And you can hear why the G and the E minor work together because they're chords of plurality. You know it's true. Everything I do. Oh, I do it for you. That's a really great one for me personally. I really like that one. And even more so than that is how that translates into a guitar solo in that very song. And when I heard that guitar solo for the first time, I thought, what a heavenly way to translate that sentiment into an instrumental performance. So just simple, you know, but it's not so simple. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get going. So we'll start with good morning, Jill. I see Miss Bourgeois, Mrs. Bourgeois is on the chopping block this morning. And all right, do you have an appropriate time? The bowl is interesting. I'll try it later. Thanks. Raul is in the house. Good morning, Raul. Guten Tag. Guten Tag, eins Bier bitte. No, I don't really drink any. I don't drink anything like that anymore. But I was in this pub called Zur Elvedrich. I'm not sure what that means, but Zur Elvedrich in I forget the town near Ramstein, right? It's I don't even know if it's still there anymore. But I think the bartender, the barkeep, fed me gasoline at the end of the night. I'm pretty sure it was gasoline. Or something, I'm not sure. But long story short, I'll never do that again. All right, so fingers 3 and 4, and here we go. And I see Dan has graced us with his presence. Hopefully his upper body's not totally destroyed from yesterday. You got some nice recovery materials in the system yesterday, and you're sort of well on your way to you know, health and comfort today, Dan. I appreciate you being here with us today. Very great to see you. So we're just taking off. I'm going to use all of the 2-finger, 3-finger, and 4-finger permutations today. Not really sure where we're going for the last 10 or 15 minutes. I have a feeling it's going to have something to do with Christmas. And it's going to have something to do with simplicity. It's going to have something to do with arpeggiating triads. Kevin, Mr. Haas shared with me last evening about, you know, just a glimpse of what he's working on. So I wanted to maybe focus on a finger style / pick style application to like the things that we've been working on. They're just very super simple and just utilitarian. And it really doesn't matter where we're coming from. It's useful. It's a useful tool, but I think what we're going to cover today. But we're going to place it into the context of a song, and it will likely be a Christmas type song. So I was just sharing, good morning, Dan. Very nice. Greenbury's back. Good morning, Greenbury. Let's go, mate. Hey ho, let's go. Robbie's in the house. We've got a full slate today. A little later this morning, about if you're a channel member, I'm thinking about just live streaming the Oh Holy Night transcription process to only, membership only. I thought maybe we're not really that interested if you're not a channel member and really walking through a transcription and how I go through that process. But after the transcription of "Oh Holy Night" is done, I'm going to make it available to you for the publicly, and it will be it's in DADGAT, and it's a great one. I just got notification from the distribution company that we are live on Apple Music with "Oh Holy Night," and it's a pretty cool little album cover, so it's worth checking out. Jason J. Carey, and it's "Oh Holy Night." And then you compare that cover to the James Taylor Christmas cover, and you tell me which one's more handsome. You can keep the which one's more handsome to yourself if you like. That's fine. So fingers 2 and 4 on frets 9 and 12, and working on setting my intention again, because I haven't been mentioning it for a while, and I've been sort of privately setting it, but I think I want to bring that to the forefront again. So while I'm praying for wisdom and that I have this, I have the ears to receive it, I'm going to breathe in and out. And I'm going to monitor my posture so I have a strong abdomen, strong back, weak mind. You know what it takes. You know what it takes to play the guitar. So no, I don't want to cheapen it, but it's a strong back, strong abdominal, strong core, super important. Fingers 1 and 3 on 9 and 12, and we're at the metronome. The metronome's here with us this morning once again. Surprise, surprise. 60 beats per minute, which means that we're playing 4 tacks per beat, which is whatever 60 times 4 is. That's what I don't know, what are we doing, 240? So how many notes per minute are we doing? So fingers 1 and 3 on 9 and 12. And I see just after Mr. Dan Husband is here, we have Arnold. Play some music, bro. All right, let me try my best. Hold on. Yeah, it's not really quite music quality this morning. I'm still warming up, and this is actually what you've sort of doom scrolled your way into. I don't tend to doom scroll on YouTube. YouTube's a more useful thing to me for some reason. I don't tend to doom scroll a whole lot anyway. But what I do is I'm using fingers 1 and 4 on 7 and 12 now, and I'm just going through my morning ritual for guitar growth. That's actually the name of this stream, Arnold, so I appreciate you dropping by. And I appreciate you. I want to see how nice you play the guitar. Okay. Do you have any requests? Boy, you know how to endear a person, that's for sure. I appreciate that. You really, good morning, sir. Good, John. Good morning, John and Raul Strong Nails. Yeah, I heard eating gelatin is a good thing for strong fingernails. I used to pound gelatin like crazy. I'd eat Jell-O like crazy, and I could never seem to get nails that would last. My nails are all broken again. You can see like I had really great nails at the beginning of the week or last week, and now they're all like chipped away. And so I dealt with this the last time I went full blown like fingerstyle guitar player, like the Pierre Van Suzanne method, where I'd use super glue and sodium bicarbonate, to create a really great high polish, super strong nail tip. You can play Black Sabbath Paranoid. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, thanks for that. That's a nice little shot of adrenaline this morning. So let's go ahead and get back to fingers 2 and 3 and 4, back to the warm-up. If you're here and you are a guitar player, I invite you, I cordially, we all invite you, because there's a whole live chat full of people who've been here all year. We're here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m., including this fella right here, Dan. I keep my nails very short as I play the pads of my fingers for a round tone on my flat round. Oh, yeah. So you probably get pretty good quality calluses, I would think, and that really can make a really great dry sort of brittle tone as your fingers start to harden up. Right? That's a great tone, yeah. So do you play with your thumb like Wes at all? Do you ever do that? He used to stress really hard about taking solos, I guess. And he's some of the most intelligent solos that I've ever heard, like improvised solos. Just the way that the framework, the way that he built a solo, you know. I used to love to transcribe his stuff, and it's been a long time since I've transcribed any of his stuff. Maybe we get together on a live stream and do like 4 on 6 from the Kelly Trio. Do you know what I mean? What we could do one of those things, like do a live stream of just kind of working our way through. Go back and re-listen to some of that stuff. It's like jingly jangly around in there. We'll have to find some of that stuff. That's a great idea now that you mention it, Dan. I really look forward to doing something like that. We could go through and transcribe giant steps like John Coltrane's guitar, sing, you know, a horn solo for guitar. If you'd like to do that, you just let me know what you're up to, what you're interested in. We can do all of that stuff. So we have this, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I did 2, 3, 4 in completion. I was kind of tripping there for a minute. So let's keep going. Let's just kind of work our way back down the guitar neck. Take 5. Yeah, right on, right on. We did take 5 with Don Stratton. He used to play with Don Cherry and like Charlie Parker and those guys. And I used to play in a band with him, Don, and he wanted the band to. He called all of the tunes. He would call all of the tunes, and we rehearsed for like 3 months and took the show on the road for like a week, and it was just a great learning experience with him. And he wanted us to play Take 5, but we had to play it in 9. So we arranged the melody in 9, and the drummer like had a field day with it. And it really didn't work at first, but then as you start to work your way through, the song, and it's like, oh yeah, that does work. You know, it does work in its own sort of kind of way. So fingers 1 and 2 and 4. Take 5 would be a great thing to do. That was like Dave Brubeck's like least favorite song, I guess. That Mr. Brubeck. I think our friend Scott Fish was telling me he talked to the drummer in the band at one point, I guess. And yeah, he was remarking somewhere along the line that it was like one of Mr. Brubeck's least favorite tracks, and it's like one of his most wildly respected tunes, you know, and wildly popular tunes. So I just got looking through my small record collection, and I have a Dave Brubeck album in there. It's the Disney. So Dave does Disney. Have you heard that album yet? Push past the sore, Robbie, develop tough layer, and makes it easy. That's the thing to do, Dave. Dave Brubeck, Tony, what's going on? Hell yeah, hell to the yes. Yeah, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, Kev, do you remember me again? Do you remember Jimmy Kowalski? Hey, Jimmy, what's going on? Great to have you back. Are you an AI, Kevin? Yes, Jimmy, I am AI. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I can, if you can't find that album anywhere, let me know, Dan. I'll rip it and then send it over to your email. You're gonna want to hear it, you know. So fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're almost approaching the top of the hour. We're almost on time. You're here with the morning ritual for guitar growth, and I'm Jason, your host, and I'm here every weekday. Yeah, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And this is a great thing to do if you're a guitar player, if you're an aspiring guitar practitioner, if you're a pro and you want to just jump in and shoot the breeze while you're sort of like doing your own thing in the morning, you know. If it aligns for you, we've had a few people pull in, you know, that they pull in under some weirdo names, you know, and there's some pros that are touring the world right now. Like one guy is touring right now. He's a blues guitar player that we all know, and he pulls in these using a sort of like an incognito name. So you never really know who's pulling in here, really, and it's kind of cool. But he'll get on stage and continue his North American tour, and then next year he kicks off in his world tour. And so, you know, once in a while you'll see weird names, and then, you know, sometimes they don't say anything, sometimes they say hi, sometimes they don't. But it is kind of fun to think that we can practice alone, but together. It's kind of a unique opportunity for some of us, you know, who might enjoy this. So this is, like I said, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. This is my honest to goodness warm-up pattern, and I would typically play it like at 80 or, you know, whatever. I typically start at 80, but this is our first season, and we're in a process called onboarding. So we're onboarding and we're preparing ourselves mentally and physically, because there's so many pieces. Not to scare the living heck out of any one of you, but you know, I mean, you know innately, you know how complex the guitar is and how much work it takes to master anything in life, right? So why would the guitar be any different? You know, we just don't want to do the overwhelm. We're happy to spend the time down, and we're happy, but we also realize that there's so much to do, and sometimes it can get the better of us, you know, sometimes like tear us down instead of building us up. So it's nice to have a community that you can talk with and share your concerns with or questions with. And that's sort of like what this is. If it's specific to warming up, and again, we're here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and this is episode, actually yesterday we passed episode 250, and so today is episode 251, which is kind of, I think we're in line. And I wanted to know, do you guys want to keep going through the Christmas break if we reach episode 260? Do you want to just keep going? I haven't really looked ahead, but I think we have enough days left in 2025 where we can get to episode 260. So what happens after we reach 260? Do we want to keep going, or do we want to take some time off for the holiday? My inclination is to just keep on going, you know. So I don't typically stop. This is literally part of what I do for my day-to-day health, my day-to-day wellness, my mental health, or whatever, my physical health, to maintain the guitar. It only takes an hour, you know what I mean? It's like, it really takes me a little more, but I film for an hour, and then and so it's up to you guys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue along. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, all right, we'll continue along. Did I see trucks? I see Derek Trucks. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. I saw trucks, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. We're talking about like the real players now. All right, so we've got fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We're stretching that first finger back. This is the kickstand. This is like, I guess it's like sort of like Jill's exercise. So she coined, somehow this got coined, the name kickstand because we kick our first finger back 1 fret. You know, we're still playing the position. You know, I'm still in 5th position right now, for example, but I have my first finger stretched back so I can reach a fret lower than what the typical position player would do. So we could also stretch finger 4 here, so we have, you know, an expanded opportunity. So we're nearing Alan Holdsworth's sort of world here. So we're stretching both the 1st and 4th finger. We could also stretch the 2 and 3 in between if we'd like. But this is a really cool exercise with the kickstand because we're kicking our first finger back. It's coined the kickstand, and now we have a I don't know where you are in the live chat right now, but there's a green title here, Jill Bourgeois, and she's a guitar luthier, and she built her first guitar and nicknamed it Kickstand. So there's some really cool stuff going on here, and I do a chromatic scale warm-up, but a simpler version. This is a great idea. Hey Brian, good morning Brian. Dan, I watched Derek Trucks doing it with his fingers, just smile. He's amazing, the way he strums. Oh yeah, only God knows why. Oh, there you go. Hey Roughneck, what's going on? Will do, Dan, I like the sound of my thumb. Jimmy. All right, so I've got everybody up to speed, and I think, whoop, oh no, just missed. What is going on here? Let's go ahead and do this. All right. I wonder if I can answer. I can. Everything I do for you. Brian Adams. Okay, I don't know if that made it, but Tina, good morning, Tina. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're just talking about a song lyric that really resonates with you, and I just shared Everything I Do, that Brian Adams song, and we're in the middle of our morning ritual for guitar growth, and we reached the top of the hour, and now I'm finished. Well, you know what? I appreciate that, Tina. I really do appreciate that, and it warms my heart. You've made my day, and it's we can always use good news and good sentiments like pass back and forth between communities. It's so foreign now, as a matter of fact, when you do that and you share those things personally and intimately with someone in passing discussion, they look at you kind of funny, you know. So it is an odd enough thing that a good friend of mine, Steve, he's a famous songwriter, I think in some circles, and he wrote a song called Say Love, where he just felt like we don't say love enough, whether it's I love you or, you know, just that language of love and that language of everything is going to be okay. Just saying the love language, just being of love. And that's what he was trying to express with that song, I think. Just a beautiful, beautiful songwriter. And you know what? I think I might cover that song at some point. There's so many good songs out there to cover and to learn from and just be part of, you know. Danny's song has been stuck in my head. Let's go ahead and get through this. Let's go ahead and do this morning ritual for guitar growth stretch. And if you have a favorite song that you would like to share, I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to Danny's song. Is that like that's not Kenny Loggins, right? Is that? I've got to go back and re-listen to that. I appreciate you bringing that to the surface here, Jill. And we're working the stretch. We're on the halfway stretch. Blackbird, any song lyric that really resonates with you, Blackbird. Yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful track. There's so many songs that... I have a question for you because you guys are here every day. Like, do you mind if I ask you you don't have to answer if you don't want. But sometimes, like, I feel like, I think this is just a creator, this is a YouTube content creator, sort of like a fairly well documented, I'm not going to say crisis, but it's like one of those things where you feel like it's, you need to serve the algorithm, like, what do people want to watch? And I'm looking at, like, I'm thinking like the videos that are going viral, that are going to go viral, and we've hit a few, and I can't imagine just spending my lifetime down just providing things that don't really make me happy. So that being said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep the lights on. But I was thinking that, yes, Kenny Loggins, so what if we did, like, does it make sense to cover those songs in like guitar sessions on the channel? Like, even though they may or may not have legs on their own, like with the algorithm, maybe it would be worth. Is that something that you're interested in seeing as like a in lesson format, like a like sort of like a formal approach to it, or would you rather see like an intro, and then leads into the song, or you just like to? Would you rather see the song just played, or would you rather learn how to play it? I'm just kind of curious a little bit about. I have a feeling about the way I would like to see it, and the way my friend Ricky would like to see it, and I think that's where I achieve the most success, with just paying attention to what's real and what people are going to, affectionately sort of bond with, and I think you can pretty much tell when you look back through my body of work and my body of videos which ones are honest and then which ones are sort of a little bit shifty. Do you know what I mean? I think you can probably tell the difference between the good, clean, honest ones and the ones where I'm really trying something different that I don't really feel good about, but I want to just see if it'll work for the algorithm. So I'm sure you can either respond or not, but I just wanted to let you know that what happens here can really impact the trajectory of the future of this channel, right? So it's all about balance for me, melodically and harmonically, and philosophically and musically, and I'm assuming that that's also true for you. So yeah, the noble, high production, high value, meaningful, I'm going to get something useful out of this, but don't waste my time kind of thing, right? Yeah. All right, so there's that. So many people who only troll for dark content. I'm here because it's about being creative with a great community of people. Yeah, there you go. A song lyric that resonates, that's what you get when you go chasing after vengeance. Since she got me punctured. This has been my... Oh, wow. I'm thinking like I'm going back to the song called Chasing Rainbows by Railroad Earth. Have you all heard of Railroad Earth? And that's what that's, Stale Fish, that's a really cool, I'm going to have to look up that lyric because I'm not familiar with the song, I have to say. What about taking a song a week and doing a part each day? That's a great way to use the additive process. Tabs, yeah, tabs are important, right? It would have to be slower, learn because of the levels of talent in this channel. That's right, yeah. I'd love to go through a breakdown of songs over the span of a week. Okay. That's a really great, that's some really great feedback. I really appreciate you sharing that moment. Yeah, those things are really helpful, and we, like I said, we like to build programs that work, and that work for everyone, right? And fortunately, we've been able to do it, you know, time and time and time again. But it's, you know, it only works if you know, we're all listening and communicating, and something about being respectful of each other's, you know, concerns, and learning about what it is we all want and what it is we all sort of need. And let's see, we're talking Pentatonics, and then we'll go through this. We'll start with shape number one, but those things are so important, and we easily, I mean, it's not like I'm perfect at all. I'm not trying to say that, but we can, including myself, we can all easily miss very simple cues in communication, and I'm guilty of that sort of a lot. But in a perfect situation, there's time, and then there's all involved in the communication. Keep the time, but we're not in a hurry to jump to our solo to you know, communicate all of the things that we want to say about what we know about the song or what we know about the thing. And we are just happy to sit back on the bandstand and listen to our other friends communicate their solo or what they know about the song and what they've been working out on the song. So those things are definitely what I'm thinking, Dan, is I'm thinking like one way that we could do that is it would be great if we all focused on one thing. It sounds to me like that's going to be a separate thing for me for 2026. But I think it would, does it make sense if it was like a live weekly meeting? Would it make sense to do something sort of like live, just weekly meeting with only interested parties? Because I think we get, I'd like to reduce the level of noise and then have the participants, like myself included as a participant, sort of like leader though, and just think about the questions and the comments that bubble up are specifically, we all want to be there. Do you know what I mean? We're not here to like say, I like purple popsicles, or I think unicorns are cool. I think we're just really strategically sort of focused. So I'd be really interested in doing something like that. I would spend an hour a week. I would like make an hour a week happen to do something like that. So if that's something that we become interested in, I think the group is a good way to do it, because then we all sort of like inform and teach each other, and then we can take turns selecting which songs we're going to all learn together. You know, I think that will be a cool thing to do. So that's really valuable feedback for me. I think we can make some progress doing that kind of thing. So we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. And 2026 is a whole new year. So hopefully we're all aligning ourselves with some goals for 2026, some guitar goals. I'm hoping that my guitar goals sort of fall into line. I'd like to personally revisit and really get serious about some blues and jazz blues in particular. Some of the jazz and blues connections that I have, you know, I'd really like to explore those things, you know, through songs like The Thrill Is Gone, or you know, any of those jazz blues tunes that Parker was playing. You know, some of the more complicated things, but even as something as you know, something as honest and true as Blues Deluxe by the Joe Bonamassa, right? Or Stormy Monday. You know, I really want to revisit some of those licks personally. And I think those are the building blocks for where many of us want to go. We want to learn songs that appeal to us, that we can play for ourselves, for our own entertainment, and for others, and for the greater community. Maybe we develop a set list, we go to the open mics, or we make an album. Album is a huge thing. I hope some of you have, I want to make an album, whether it's an EP or a full album this year in 26. I hope that some of you have that on your list. I really do. And you just saw what I did with Oh Holy Night, and you know you can release something with all kinds of mistakes in it, and it'll be fine, right? You can polish it up as much as you like, but not releasing it because you're waiting for perfection is something that Mr. Rick Rubin sort of like warns against, you know. Just create, keep creating. So hopefully some of us have, I want to make an album this year. And release an album in 2026. I want to do it all and get it done, and that's something that we can help with too, if you like. But so we go on shape number 3. There's a lot to talk about, I think, and I appreciate you just sort of brainstorming. And I know some of us are into it, some of us don't want to hear it, and that's okay. But the ones who do want to hear it are the ones who we're going to benefit from that. And what I'm doing here is I'm practicing a slide between each position. And then finger position 4. So these patterns are all good, including all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3s, the 1, 2s, all of the 2-finger and the 3-finger permutations are going to be starting at 80 beats per minute next year. Starting day 1 on 2026, these are all going to be 80 beats per minute. We're going to say goodbye, for the most part, to warming up at 60 BPM, and we're going to move quickly into, no pun intended, quickly into 80 BPM. So I hope that you guys are able to just sort of dip your toes in that pool of water, in that pool of that tempo. Get warmed up to that, and that's going to become our new normal. So we are going to make progress, right? And then having an entire year of 60 BPM under the fingertips, 80 is going to create a little bit of a, it's going to raise the hairs on the nape. It's going to be very exciting for a period of time, but then it's going to become our new normal, and maybe season 3 we start at 100. So there's a little bit of a method to what's going on, but it does take some time. We're going to introduce some new concepts next year too, and I've already started teasing that making room for new concepts is partially going to happen through increasing time, increasing the tempo, so we'll be able to fit more exercises into the warm-up, right? So that will be essential so that we can cover more ground in the same amount of time. So that's part of the strategy. Time keeps on slipping. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, really great tune. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I was asked a question. I wanted to display a playlist to relatable to teens at a school. A teacher asked me the other day, so I got a bunch of things together that didn't have the the profanity, the sex, drugs, rock and roll. So I found Radiohead, Daydreaming. I mean, what a great some tunes by Cohen. There's so many great songs out there that are just so worth listening to and learning and absorbing on the guitar. Yeah, I was thinking like a Zoom session, like a limited sort of, maybe it can be, I think maybe that dovetails a little bit with what I was planning on doing anyway. I have to think about that a little bit, because if I commit to it, I want to be sure that I'm able to commit to it. And but it sounds like a tremendous amount of fun, and it sounds like I could learn a lot from it. So I bet it would be a lot of fun. And then it's it's one of those things that it would be pretty easy to get into and out of if it doesn't work out for you. You know what I mean? But I have to figure out if I can make it work, and what day I can, I'll have to go through a little bit of a process, but I think realistically it just sounds like a really great idea, and I'm so thankful that you're sharing those thoughts. But I don't want to go over the top. I really need to spend some time on tabs. I'd love to go through a breakdown of songs. So the tablet, the visual aid's really important. So I wanted to talk about, I'm glad that I went back and caught that, because, okay, I know I'm working on getting past just cowboy chords and being comfortable with fills. Oh, cowboy chords are cool, man. That's, if I had a lifetime to just sit around and play cowboy chords, that's okay with me. I just think about so many different, a group Zoom session would be cool. Put a face to everyone's name. I think that would be cool. I wanted to mention, so I'm going to go back to like an early session, like I've like taught hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of students face to face, and all different levels, all different ages, and all different professions, and some professional guitar players and that kind of thing. And then so I'll use fingers shape number 5 while I'm talking through this. So Dan, you make a great point. Like what typically will happen is I used to bring a notebook to my guitar lessons early on, and then I would just sit there and watch the teacher play the whole time and never take a lick of notes, you know. I wouldn't take any notes, and then I'd get home and I'd be like, what did we talk about? And I was probably, 12 years old or something, maybe, I don't know, whatever age. I never took my own notes while I was studying privately if it wasn't involving a school or an academic approach, I would just take my private sessions but I've had a few key teachers in my private life. They don't let you take your own notes. They encourage you to take your own notes, but it's more important to be visually involved in looking at what's going on, because they're modeling something. You're supposed to be watching the picking hand and the fretting hand just to see what it's supposed to look like, so that we have in our imagination like a retention of, like, we retain what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to be, and we can even use that as a balance of what it's not supposed to be. So while the student or the learner is watching those models go by, you can't do that while you're busy trying to wonder about, what am I supposed to take notes? What am I supposed to collect for information? What am I doing? That all of that visual thing, the whole point of watching a session is to be there and be present, right? To be there watching the session and play. And so the smart teachers that I had, and I learned this from them, two of them early on, and that was three of them, right? Early on, they would all take notes for me, draft the notes in the tablature and make notations here and there, so that I remember what to practice when I look back at the notebook over the week. And so I would likely provide all of the notes, so you don't have to take the notes. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Dan. Yeah. Raul, have a good morning. I'm sure you're likely gone. I think I missed you, but hope you have a super day. So we have all of these positions well practiced, and I think we're ready to hit the day. It sounds like I consumed the last little bit of the session with something that was completely unexpected, but definitely appreciated on my end. So thank you very much for being here. Take the garbage out first. I think I missed a couple of things here. We have to take into account of our spouse throwing a soup bowl at you on Zoom because you forget to take out the garbage. Yeah, that can happen. It definitely can happen. I've seen it. Seen it all. But anyway, Raul, I'm glad you came, and I'm really glad that you all came and visit. I think I've got to get Boogie in now. We're right at the bottom of the hour, and I see Kevin has. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Jason. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jill. And thank you, everyone, for being. Thank you, Lex. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And I hope you all have a wonderful day in approaching the Christmas season here. So anyway, happy picking.